guys, what's up? It's your girl Didi and welcome to my first official podcast. Today I'm joined with my wonderful sister Katrina. Yay! And we're going to be talking a little bit about the topic of motherhood and a little about her background and everything she's accomplished. I have a bio to read out and I will get to it just now. But for a quick intro, this is officially my first podcast, and my podcast, I want it to be about passionate persons finding their truth, their path in life, and going through difficulties and discussing how exactly they got through them to help to motivate persons and empower persons to take control of their life and follow their dreams in the long run. It is going to be called Be True to You, and I do have it officially on my website, so I hope you guys go and check it out. Let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions for topics for future guests, because I do have a brother as well. He's in Canada right now and he will join us later on, maybe if he wants to do a podcast. So let me just jump into the quick little bio of my wonderful sister right here, who has accomplished so much in her life. Yes.
Little bit.
Alright, so Katrina Roberts is a tourism, health, safety, and environment professional with special interest in the sustainable use of the coastal zone and conservation of the marine ecosystem. It's very long word guys.
Well, we could say basically what it is then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Khan Roberts has worked in the manufacturing and petrochemical industries, has consulted on government developmental projects, and has volunteered extensively in the performing arts industry and in multiple environmental and youth organizations. She advocates actively for awareness of climate change, sustainable development, and holistic lifestyle, probably what I'm a part of. And she also shares information on anthropogenic effects on ecosystem and the
interconnectedness
of human constructs by art and poetry. Woohoo! Big words to get through. Yay! So that is a brief background of my sister, and she has accomplished much more than that because she has also been traveling to discuss the environmental impacts on the country, and she's been representing Trinidad and Tobago in a lot of events around the world. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
We also have a healthy snack option.
Snacks are so important.
So we're going to snack on dark chocolate chips with some nuts and raisins, which are my favorite snack, and I actually really love them. So the nuts are high in good fats. They have dark chocolate, which has antioxidant properties, and the raisins add that little sweetness from a grape, which is basically a dehydrated grape, right? So we have a fruit, we have some nuts, and we have some dark chocolate, and that together combines to make a very delicious snack. So we're gonna munch on this meanwhile, and we also have our tea, which is something that I have created. So I've been working on a herbal tea. It's not out in the market yet, but I am looking to get it out there. It's really for de-stressing purposes, so we're gonna enjoy this while we have our conversation. It has like some rose in there, it has chamomile and green tea as well, and it's a nice blend. So, and of course I'm selling these cute strawberries. Of course you guys listening along may not see it, but you can visualize it's basically a strawberry sack that is going to hold the herbal parts of the tea, the herbal extracts, the dehydrated parts, and it's going to seep through the strawberry into your water. So we're enjoying this while we're having our conversation today. So thank you again for joining me. Thank you for everyone for being here and listening to the podcast, and I hope that you guys are having a fantastic time. Please remember that you want to make sure that you stay safe during this time. Wear a mask wherever you go because of COVID. Everything is a bit crazy, and you really want to take care of yourself. Sanitize wherever you go. Alright guys, so Katrina, let's start off, shall we?
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me as your first guest. I'm as interesting as my bio sounds.
Oh my, of course you are. But I do think that you have accomplished a lot more than just what your bio says.
Thank you.
So let's dive into our background and what exactly you enjoy doing and what makes us so different. So we actually have an international experience growing up.
Yes. So when I was 14 and Canada was 13, we left Trinidad to go to China. And that was basically because Daddy got a job in the petrochemical industry. And basically I left Trinidad when I was in Form 3. And Canada left when she was in Form 1.
Yep.
And we just basically got thrown into this international space.
Yeah.
With no prior warning. I think they told us like maybe 2 months in advance or something.
No, I remember them asking if we wanted to go, and I was
Did they?
like,
I can't remember that.
I remember, and I was like, yes, I was all for it. I think you were not.
I was not. I was so sad. I was like, I'm leaving all my friends.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my whole life. Not like I had so much going on then. I was 13, but I don't know. I just felt like, this big uprooting. And like my whole life was here. My family was here. We were so close to our family. Like extended family, our cousins.
That's the thunder, guys. Sorry about that background, but that is actual from
Thunder,
outside.
yes.
Because
It's a rainy day.
It's a rainy day.
We're in rainy season, right? Trinidad and Tobago is in the tropics. It's the rainy season. It's completely natural and normal.
Yes.
So this is good. But in terms of like leaving Trinidad, I think I was traumatized. For me, like I didn't want to leave because I had built my reality in this space, and I kind of came to terms with like I'm going to stay here for the rest of my life, and I'm not going to have any other opportunities. Nothing is going to happen to me.
Right. I kind of felt like that coming back to Trinidad.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It switched.
Yeah.
But then, funnily enough, I thought coming back home would have been great, and then it wasn't.
Because international experiences, of course, you would have a lot more opportunities elsewhere because they are it's more diverse, and we went to an international English school, a British international school, where you would see the typical sort of cliques and groups that you would see on TV with the school life there. So it was really tricky to find
the social
your
aspect.
To find your group, to find where you fit in, and I don't think I fit in at all. I was just with one friend most of the time. I had groups here and there, in and out of different groups, trying to find exactly where I would belong. And we made quite a lot of friends. We also lived in a community with it was like a housing community.
Families.
So we weren't really exposed much to like the Chinese, like in terms of we didn't go to a Chinese school and we didn't live among
Chinese nationals.
So we were more among the international group for schooling and for our living situation, but we did travel quite a lot around
China, around Asia. So we'd been to, by the time I was 19, I had been to 13 countries.
Wow. Do you remember all of them?
I remember all of them, actually.
Did you counted them?
I counted them. I used to keep count because I was like, which other Trinidadian had the opportunity to see as many cultures and experience as many things as we did, And it wasn't just with the family, we got to go with school as well. So yes, the social aspect of school was difficult. It was easier to make friends with certain ethnic groups and cultural backgrounds, but the good thing is that everybody kind of didn't know what was going on because it's everybody was different. So it's like you could have gotten to a comfortable space with somebody, and then they would leave very quickly because you didn't. True. That was a lot of the stuff that we had to deal with as well. A lot of changes very quickly.
But it was really exciting, and we definitely, I feel like,
benefited greatly from it because the schooling system in Trinidad is so focused on academics, and over there we were just exposed to everything. We were exposed to performing arts, singing. So I was in the choir, I was in every single sport. You were in sports.
I was in sports a lot.
Because I was in every sport.
When I left to go to China, I was chubby, right? So I had that full round face and chubby arms and a big kind of belly, and I did
cute.
not
You were cute.
When I was around everyone else who were normal sized, I kind of felt odd and misplaced. And in China, we had like a gym. We had a whole huge center that had a gym, had a swimming pool, had a cinema, had a restaurant, had like, oh my god. It was
That's
so
where we
crazy.
were living, okay? I mean, to be an expat is really good. Like, you get so much more.
The treatment is a lot better.
The treatment is better. It was more like we were given the opportunities to do more than what you would have in Trinidad. So, like, for example, if you wanted to join a pool in Trinidad, you have to think about, okay, distance from home, how you're going to get there, how you're going to pay for it, and stuff like that. We kind of got all those things free. Like, we were just able to do whatever we wanted as teenagers. That is so important, because that's when you're trying to figure out who you want to be, what you're good at, and stuff like that. And we were given the opportunity to find what it is we were good at. Very young. And I mean, a lot of people now after university in Trinidad is when you say, oh, well, you know, I always wanted to try art, I always wanted to try this and that and the other. And
I think the extracurricular activities really helped as well, because we were able to do a lot of different things after school, like every single Wednesday evening after lunch. You would cut off half the day for you to actually engage in other activities. Everything, and not only that, and language and arts and design and anything that you didn't have in your own like school work, like anything that you were passionate about, you're able to go and experiment with. They even have like hairstyle stuff, and you know,
it was jewelry making and makeup and whatever you wanted to do.
That really helped us to grow and develop differently.
The teachers took individual attention. So, like, for example, for me, my first international experience was actually when my chemistry teacher, he said that they want to send a delegation to the Model United Nations. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know I could talk. I was like the mooks in the corner. And he was like, no, Katrina, I want you to go. And they had a mock dialogue and everything. And then he was like, don't worry, you can do it. And he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he pushed me, and I actually was the youngest person on the delegation. And they put me as ambassador, so I had to make a speech in front of 3,000 people at 16 years old.
Wow.
And I was like, I actually did this thing. And I
that was just like the first step in store.
That was the first step. That was the first step.
Because when you came back, you joined
like,
CAYE and
exactly.
You became president and you traveled around the Caribbean islands to represent.
Is the Caribbean Youth Environment Network. They are a regional environmental NGO. And they changed my life for sure. I was just so able to give as much as I wanted to that organization. It really was a great experience.
And then when we came back from China, it was sort of like another culture shock to try to readapt.
So it was like culture shock to go.
Yeah.
And then repatriation culture shock too.
Yeah. I remember going into a spiral depression.
Well,
really started in Form 6. I came back in Form 6. We went straight into university.
So we spent 5 years.
Like,
we went 5 years in China, right? And going from that international experience, and then for you especially going into cliquey school, you know. I mean, I went to the same school, but because
that's a different time though.
When you grow up with the girls,
it's
different to when you transfer across. And those social things, I don't know, humans are so mean. Girls are mean. Girls are mean.
Yeah, some girls can be very mean. Not all, but most of them.
And so that's another thing that we're so happy about this generation, different to ours, is that you are more accepting of people. And I think this generation is a little bit better at trying to make friends with people and trying to not make people feel offended and not making people feel excluded and stuff like that, because I think now is different.
Some of us do consider others and that way, but university life is very difficult as well.
It's only because I had my friends from before. When I left in Form 3, I had my friends with me in university.
Definitely.
So we were able to reconnect and stuff, even though I hadn't seen them in 5 years. I was just saying, they were all going through this transition from secondary to university level. And so we were able to connect in that way again. So I was lucky in that way. But you had it the hardest, I think. You were just
Well,
thrown
Kira
in.
also had it a bit tough too because he was so young.
Yeah, he was young. He went back into Form 3, so...
Yeah, he was very young, and he went younger than his actual year. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. He came back at an advanced
He was
level.
very different because of the exposure at that young of an
Yeah,
age, he
they-
didn't really want to stay here long.
Yeah,
And
because
that's
he
why
left
he
here when he
did-
was 8.
Yeah, and
So
then he went to
grew
Canada.
up in China, basically.
And then he went to Canada to do his studies, and now he's staying there and working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very proud of
different
our brother. He
yeah.
just took every risk and went.
Yeah.
I
I left us all in tears, but you know.
No, for us, I mean,
Because that's
for
our little
me,
brother.
yeah. For me, I wanted to take what I got out of that international experience and bring it to make Trinidad better. I was always this big patriot. I was like, Trinidad is so well positioned to be this superpower nation.
Mhm.
And we are so lucky with a lot of the things that we have here. And I was like, I'm going to use what I got to come here and make Trinidad better. And it's been 12 years later.
Yeah.
I tried.
You did great. So after UE, do you think you did a degree that you enjoyed? Like, is that that was what you were passionate about?
I chose my passion.
Okay,
And
that's
a
good.
lot of people said that was the wrong way to go. It was
Mhm.
a lot of people were like, no, you can't choose according to what you want to do. It's about what job you're gonna get after. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Since I was a child, I love mermaids. Even
Right.
like as I was born, I think I was born to be in the water. And I just love the beach and I love the sea and I love mermaids. And I was like, we are going to create something with the sea. I wanted to do something with the sea. I wanted to do something that will create in the minds of people that the sea is important.
Right.
And that is where I was like, okay, I want to do marine bio. And I actually did have the opportunity to go to university in Florida and study marine biology. But things happened and I decided to come to the University of the West Indies and study in
Right.
St. Augustine.
Yeah. And then
And-
after you did your master's.
Oh yes, I did my master's in tourism because I was like, okay, travel is my life. I love, it's so funny, like when you're there and you're traveling all the time, you get fed up with traveling.
Right.
And then after you don't have it for a little while, you're like, I want to travel again,
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I want tourism. I think it's a very sustainable business to have. Like you can have income from other countries and you can highlight the things about your environment that are able to carry a certain number of people. So a carrying capacity for your tourism sector is very important. You have to think about how you're keeping your stuff safe forever for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And relationship wise,
Oh,
I think
God.
you had was it your
My
first?
first boyfriend.
Was it really your first? Or was it like kind of your second, maybe
no,
somewhere
who
around
knows,
there?
yeah. But I met my husband when I was in year 2.
Tell us about that.
So I was very fortunate to get a summer job
Right.
at Petritrin, actually, yeah. So I had applied through the on the job thingy in
job
UE,
training,
right?
something. Yeah.
Something in UE they had at the time with us. I think they changed it to something else now. And I got through and I was so fortunate and I was so happy. And it was called undergraduate training program at the time. And we had training things, so like they would bring all the trainees together and do these
Right.
little sessions.
Right.
And I sat next to this boy. And I smiled at him and he smiled at me.
Oh,
And
it's so cute.
then he added me on Facebook.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I remember.
And we had MSN back then, so
Right.
MSN Messenger. And yeah, that was it.
I remember coming home one day. I saw her on the computer and she was looking to see if the boy added her. She was like, I met someone and he added me on Facebook. And I was like, really? Okay, is he cute? You like him? And she's like, yeah.
And that was it.
And the
And I'm
move
already-
that he made,
What did he do? I forgot.
you told me he like tapped on your
Oh
shoulder.
yeah, right.
That's Katrina's like an artist at heart,
gosh,
right?
no.
So she was doodling on her notepad, like if I
Yeah.
was there and I'm seeing her doodling.
Yeah.
And then Rana like taps her and says
And I
a
looked
line.
He was like, I'd love to see your textbooks. And I was like, I'm going to marry this man.
Oh goodness. Really?
I don't know.
remember
Yeah.
I remember you talked about him differently.
Yeah.
And you
I'm
liked
gonna
him
get
in a
hot
different
though.
way. And then after that, you guys got married in what year?
2016. 6
Yeah.
years later. Yeah. We got married 6 years later.
And you got the dress of your dreams.
Oh God, yes.
It was beautiful. I love the
Didi
veil.
was the best.
And I love the flow.
No, you were the best, best maid of honor ever.
Oh, thank you.
She's so supportive.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You should do it so much. She's so creative. She has epic scrapbooking skills.
What?
So she got me this big
Oh yeah, I
scrapbook.
remember.
have it, so.
I like cut up because I did the bridal shower.
Yes.
And I cut up parts
that
of the bridal shower
was
and
the
made
best.
this huge, like, thick
Yeah.
book to have memories because, I mean, it was a really significant time.
It was.
That was really significant.
Yeah. Kenya had just come back from Jamaica.
Right.
You had just finished your Jamaican stint of your masters.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you came back and I got married and then being home
Left
with mommy
me.
and I'm sorry.
I cried so much.
I know.
And
It was
then after,
time.
like, how long it was before you had Ronan?
4 years? 3 years. 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we got married in 2016 and Ronan was born December 2019.
So that is how baby
Baby
boy.
boy.
My nephew, my
Yes.
cute nephew is
Yes.
so sweet.
And he loves his Auntie Didi.
I love him too. He's so adorable, so sweet. And motherhood is definitely something that we have to touch on
Oh,
because they're going through pregnancy and having a baby. I just think it's so important to, first of all, be ready
Yeah.
financially, be
Oh,
prepared,
yeah.
prepared mentally.
Yes.
It's such a huge stepping stone in everyone's life. Like, you have to be able to take care of yourself, I believe, first before you could have a child and before you could bring a child into the world. Because again, if you want to make sure that you are able to nurture this baby and help this baby to develop and accomplish all their goals and dreams and ambitions in life, you're gonna have to be stable yourself first.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the world would be a better place if
Yeah.
if we really thought that way and if we
Prioritize
were
the child.
waiting. Yeah,
Because people don't prioritize the children.
yeah, definitely.
So, for example, right, now we know the job situation in Trinidad is crazy.
Mhm.
So I went from having that stable kind of job that you wanted for the rest of your life,
Mhm.
and it was taken away.
Mhm.
And then it's been unstable my entire working career, which is 10 years.
Because
I've
you
been
did
working for 10
contract
years.
jobs after Petrotrin.
I've just been in contract. I was contracting Petrotrin too.
Mhm.
I was
Alright.
contract. That was a 2-month contract and a 6-month contract and the graduate training program 2 years, and then after that it's just been contract, like 6-month contracts.
Right.
You can't build your life on 6-month contracts. That is not. It's not stable. Your
Yeah.
mind is going to be affected.
Yeah.
So actually, when I got pregnant, I got a 6-month contract.
Right.
And when I
remember.
told them that I was pregnant, right, when I had found out I had already started,
Mhm.
right, and they were like, oh, well, we may not be able to keep you then on that.
Yeah.
After that, you might have to take a break so that, we wouldn't have to fill out any forms and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. And anyway you take it, the Maternity Act in Trinidad says if you don't work for a company for a year prior to the pregnancy and stuff, you can't get any maternity benefits. You only get no paid leave.
Right.
So it's like you're not getting any income.
Income,
you know.
definitely,
And then
yeah.
of course the government gives this kind of unemployment grant, which is like $1,000 and something, and it's not sufficient.
Right.
And it
Definitely.
is very difficult. So
It
that's
is
why I'm lucky that I have my own business.
Yes.
So I'm a mama with a business and a baby.
But going through pregnancy, did you go through things that, well, I think boys, because of the hormones, it doesn't affect women as much, like with all the
I
nausea and
don't
everything, because
know.
you didn't really get that.
I was so
You never got
fortunate
all of
with
those symptoms.
My
that made
baby
you
treated
sick.
me well. He treated me so well.
Yeah, because you didn't really get all of that sickness and stuff,
No,
and morning sickness
yeah.
and vomiting and foods that affected you in a certain way.
I just had a craving for lasagna.
Right.
And
Yes,
I
I
didn't get
remember.
my lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lasagna.
But other than that, no. I was
And you kept very
pretty
active
well.
because of your job. You had to walk
I was working
to and
in Port of
from.
Spain.
Yeah, you had to walk to and from.
So I took that
to your
water
work
taxi every day and then walked for half an hour to my office and then walked
Exactly.
back. And
So you were
down
very,
to
very active.
down
as
to
well.
8 months pregnant.
Mhm.
But we had trauma in the 8th month and 9th month because of the night we went out before my birthday, and we went to your 40 under 40 influencer.
All right.
Yeah. And I went to my exhibition, and then we were followed home by this creep.
Yeah.
And he cut in front of our car and came out with a bat or whatever
Some
it was.
kind of weapon.
And I am pregnant.
Yeah, I was just thinking of her.
Katrina was driving.
And the baby, and I
Katrina
didn't want the
saved our
car.
life.
I didn't want the car to get damaged because he was clearly high and drunk. His eyes were just taken over. Like it was just weird. And it was in the night. It was like 11.
It was 11
coming back
o'clock,
from the event because the event was late.
In Port Spain,
So it wasn't something that we expected to get on the way
Thank
home, and
God.
that was when I actually got my awards. So it was like a whole lot of things happening.
Yeah, that was a
at
horrible
that time.
night.
But I just kind of hit the reverse and went straight back
Yeah.
because he was literally coming after the car.
Yeah.
And then
Did I
we
save our
just
lives,
we took a turn because a car was coming down from the flyover as well. And when he saw the car coming down, he went back into
People
his
in
car,
Trinidad,
and they
I mean,
blocked him from following us because he was going to reverse and try to follow us.
No, but why is it that people are so violent?
Yeah. Well, he was definitely high and drunk.
I find like Trinidadians are suffering from so many mental issues. Like,
I think all around the world, we all have a lot of issues to deal with.
Yeah.
Human beings, as humans, we do.
I know.
And a lot of times, what is advertised and what is promoted is alcohol and smoking and drugs to get over whatever
uppers
feelings
and
that
uppers
you
and
feel.
uppers, and then downers to go to sleep, and it's like you're just hyped up on all these things, and it's like it's not natural.
But you had a very good pregnancy. You had a very good delivery.
Yeah,
because you didn't go to the private because it was expensive like
Yeah.
crazy,
Oh my
and
God,
it didn't
it doesn't
make
make
sense.
sense.
Because if they have a complication, they'll still send it to the public health hospital anyway.
Yeah.
So you went public, and they didn't really induce?
No, they didn't induce. I was
Okay.
supposed to induce because he was 41 weeks. The average pregnancy is 40 weeks.
Right.
So he went over by 1 week, and they kept telling me, we want to do a sweep, we want to induce and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't want you to induce. It's natural. He's already turned, and everything's happening on time. And
because you could feel everything.
Yeah, it just so happened that I felt everything was coming out the day before they were going to induce. And it just so happened that he was delivered the same night that they were going to induce anyway. So my delivery was already happening when they were going to induce, and then when
I remember
they saw
that fun video that we made.
Oh my God.
When he was dancing with the big belly.
mama.
Yeah. That was right before you were born. That was so funny.
Yeah,
And
I was
it's
like,
really
what,
fun.
5 hours before he was born? No, that was 10 hours before he was born.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, were you like prepared with the Pampers and all these things? Because of your environmental background, you bought certain things based on
I had choices.
Yeah.
So the usual thing with a lot of like the traditions and stuff like that is like, oh, you just buy Pampers and you throw it away. But you don't think about what that is going to do to the environment.
Yeah,
so those
what happens
Pampers,
to them after?
so many chemicals and so much plastic and pollution
Mm-hmm.
that you're going to just be throwing away. I mean, babies poop a lot. Babies poop a lot, and you'd not believe that you could go through maybe 15 to 20 diapers in a day.
Right.
You could think about all those diapers that you're buying. First of all, it's money.
Yeah, it's
right?
about some money.
And it's all going in the garbage, you know?
Definitely.
So I was thinking, what is it that I could do to reduce that? Well, first thing as well we didn't talk about was feeding him, right? I chose to breastfeed. Right?
Well, that is what's recommended, and I would obviously promote that as well. Like exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months.
At least the
and
first
then, but
6 months.
that does not mean that you stop breastfeeding
Don't stop.
after. You should continue.
A lot of women say it's painful, and they can't get past that first initial pain. Breastfeeding is the most painful thing after delivery, right? You have to let that baby pull basically something out of you that has never come out of you before.
Yeah.
Right? Your whole
body
changes.
Yeah.
Like it is completely different after. But it is so worth it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's actually easier because you don't have to wake up and make bottles in the middle of the night. Just pull out them.
Yeah, because again, again, it's not only cheap because it costs nothing.
Yeah, you just
but
have to
your
eat
body
healthy.
is providing everything that baby needs.
Exactly.
Because you remember, a formula is trying to mimic what a breast naturally does. It's trying to mimic
breast?
the
Okay, we're
breastfeed.
saying breast. You pull out a breast and just slap a baby on it.
Well, the formula, that's what formulas are trying to do. So why are you trying to buy something that your body is naturally has to give to a baby? It just doesn't make sense. Like, you should just...
No, it is everybody's choice, huh?
Of course, but
So,
again, you want to always breastfeed. Again, that's going to provide the baby with the right amount of antibodies for it to develop and build the immune system of the baby as well. And it has the perfect balance for your baby's growth and development.
and you might not think that you're making any milk in it because there's no way that you're measuring what is coming out of you, but the baby knows.
Yeah.
And maybe it is that you need to, if it is like you feel that it's not something that you can do, that's your choice.
But how often you have to breastfeed? Because again, a lot of women think that, the baby's hungry, I'm not producing enough.
No.
But you have to latch the baby on for hours.
Fed for hours. Like he would
hours,
stick to me for like 2
at the
hours
beginning.
at a time.
At the beginning, it was very intense.
At the beginning, I would be there, and I had my friends were so lucky. They gave me. I'm so lucky to have friends like to give me like a pillow and nursing pillow and stuff. And I would just sit there for like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was very long in the beginning. Yeah,
because he's trying to pull, and you're not sure if you're drinking enough water, if you're doing everything right. But at the same time, you know that this is what is best. There were many doubts. I was like, I'm not sure he's hungry still. But the point was that I stuck through it. I never tried to force feed him anything else.
And every time you take him to the doctor, everybody's so astonished.
Yeah,
look
at this baby. Yeah.
Total breastfed baby. This is how babies should look.
Yeah, he's big and chunky, but not fat. It's not fat.
No.
He's like super strong.
Strong, yeah, because if you poke his belly, like all you feel is muscle.
He's like,
so
he has
hard.
abs.
Yeah. He's a baby with abs.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, the difference that I'm seeing between him and other children.
I'd see a huge difference because I've never felt such a strong baby.
Yeah.
And
He's 10 months now. He's 10 months now, and he's comparable to another 10 months old.
And eventually, with breastfeeding, it's sort of like,
it's
up to
normal.
6 months, it was a little less time.
Yeah.
And
he fed for like half an hour at a time, and then 15 minutes, and then now he just kind of comes for a sip whenever he wants and goes on his way.
Because again, you are
eating.
giving him some other supplements to have in terms of regular meals. Mashed potato, beans are his favorite right now.
He loves beans.
Anything that's soft that you eat, you could honestly give your baby and encourage him.
And he has 4 teeth.
Yes.
So the
teething was a difficult part, right?
He did get a lot of trouble with the teething and stuff like that, and especially now it's COVID time, right? So you're worried that a slightly, and I'm talking about slightly elevated temperature. You're worried. I am the most isolated person in Trinidad.
We don't really interact with that much persons. It's just the immediate family.
Canada as well is very isolated, so it's just the family.
Everything I do with my business is virtual anyway.
Exactly. And I haven't worked since.
But you have your own business right now, so tell us about your own business.
Still I tried to go back out to work and it didn't work out, right? To have a 6-month-old and be traveling.
The thing is, I don't understand why we still have the mindset of you have to physically be in front of me in order for a job to be done, and that's not how the world works right now.
It's
if you can do a job at home online, why is it that you have to physically go out into the office? It doesn't make sense at all. You are still accountable by producing the work throughout the day and sending it. So I don't understand why
is it that I have to see you.
Yeah, physically, what was it?
I could be sitting at my desk at home and doing my work.
Exactly.
And actually be more productive.
And sometimes, you're more productive. Sometimes you're at work and you're physically there, but you're actually not actually.
And you're spending 4 hours in traffic every day and stuff
very
like that.
Frustrating.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, very frustrating.
So I was very fortunate that my husband likes to tinker with all sorts of things, and he decided to buy a machine that he likes, and I was able to monetize it. And so my business is Custom Cake Toppers TT.
Yes, that's
we
wonderful.
We have been operating since 2018 February, so it's 2 years and a few months now.
And you have business like every single day.
Who
knew cake toppers?
Of all all the things. So
and
it's
it's a different type of material.
Yes,
Tell us about
so
the
it's a
material.
bioplastic. So it's not plastic.
Safe for the environment.
Yes, it's made out of corn.
Right, good.
Yeah.
That's great.
It has all the other features of plastic except that it's not
It looks
harmful.
so beautiful anyway when they finish with it, and what they do is individualize it, so it's all like
artwork, and I'm the one who does the artwork, and then Ronald is the technician, so
Right.
he will create the actual thing, and
Right.
I do the business management and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been fun.
So check them out on Instagram, your Instagram and on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can contact them
Yeah.
480-5378.
Yeah. So as you can tell, Didi and I have the same-ish number.
Yeah, well, mine is 80 at the end.
and mine is 7.
Yeah, it's a 78.
I got mine first.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah.
Because it's like,
Right. But it's so cool though that we're so close together.
we're close in
It's
age,
really-
so that's why we get to do everything together. We got our
Oh, yeah,
licenses
true.
together.
We got our driver's
We got the
license.
IDs together.
I remember getting our first phones when we were so young.
Yeah.
But right now, even like
Babies get
very
phones.
and iPads and all these things,
Yeah.
technology wise, we were just
I had to
back
wait till I
then.
was 16 to get a phone, and I was like,
because they didn't really need it then.
that was when camera phones had just come out, and like
Right.
MP3 phones.
Yeah.
Mine was one of the first phones. It was an LG. I remember it. I think I still have it with speakers,
Really?
and it could hold 4 songs.
Oh my. I have no idea.
How
I
far
don't
we've
remember
come.
it much. Yeah, for real. Well, let's just round up a little because, again, I don't want to take too long on my podcast. I really want them to be short to the point, and we went through a lot about the backgrounds and
yeah.
how we really developed and what exactly you went through to get you to this point today. So now you have a baby, you have accomplished so much in terms of your networking and your skill development. You have a book that's supposed to be coming out with your mermaid soon.
Yes.
That's very exciting, and I
Oh my
love your
God.
character. I love your mermaid character because you're a beach person and you love the environment, which is great because, again, with climate change and everything that's happening in the world,
Yeah.
you need a lot of more environmentalist persons who care about the climate and the population.
Mhm.
So let me just focus in on a few questions before we finish.
Rapid fire questions. Let's go. Oh.
Any sort of like relationship advice you want to leave with persons?
You have to choose the relationship over and over and over and over. It's a choice. It's not going to be an easy choice sometimes, but choose it and it will choose you.
I see. I understand what you mean because, again, you want to make sure your priorities are in check, and
Yeah.
when you have a partner, your partner
Has to be there to support you as well.
as
You have to want
support
each other
them.
to grow.
Yes, you
Yeah.
both have to grow, you both have to develop.
Through
And
everything.
if it's not working out, if there's a lot of resistance,
Mhm.
then maybe you guys should either sit and talk about it,
Yeah.
go to counseling, or just understand the bigger picture and know that
Yeah.
maybe you're not right for each other and
Yeah.
there might be somebody else out there for you, or you need to grow and develop on your own and then come back into the relationship. Because, again, you want to make sure that you and the other person, you're having the same sort of like cliques together, like you work well together and
Yeah.
you're able to help each other in a positive way.
Exactly.
What would you tell your younger self?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, I
I
know.
would say take every single opportunity. Every single
think you
opportunity.
did.
No, I think I still didn't.
Really?
I
I
still
think-
think like there are things that I was too scared to do, and I.
But again,
realized
your
now
path
that I
would
shouldn't have,
change
yeah.
based on your choices.
Mm.
So you should always think maybe ahead of time, like
Yeah,
try to plan out how
Plan.
exactly you
Get
want
your goals in
things.
order and try to work towards your goals. I think that's one of the best things.
That
yeah.
is a really good strong point, I think, that
Mhm.
everyone should focus on. Because, again, self-belief and motivation comes from you first.
Yeah.
You have to be able to have your vision for yourself
Mhm.
and know where you want to go in life,
Yeah.
right? Any life lessons so far you want to point out?
That you can't be afraid to take the risks.
Ah,
Because risks are everywhere. And the thing is, it's going to be scary, and then people are going to say lots of stuff. I mean, you of all people know this, right? Candida has done everything. Candida has worked 5 jobs
Oh,
at
goodness.
a time and all sorts of stuff. That's one thing, like, you have to take the risk, and you have to believe in your passion.
mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Mhm.
do not try, you know?
Yeah,
You
that's
have
a
to
really
try.
good advice. I truly believe in that as well. Are you happy?
I am happy.
Okay.
I
That was a quick answer.
I am-
no thoughts.
I
no
am
I am happy.
I am happy.
And what do you mean by that?
Okay, I feel like I'm not putting pressure on myself and I'm not taking on the pressures of anybody else to do what I am doing right now. And I'm happy that I'm there for my son in the way that I am.
Exactly. I think that's one of the most important
I don't care what anybody else is telling me. I really
Yeah.
don't care. You could tell me that I should be working and I shouldn't be working. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm happy. My baby is happy and he's healthy. I'm healthy. Ronald is happy and healthy too. Thank God he's safe, because remember he had his incident as well.
Yeah.
And that, I think, made me value life a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I nearly lost my husband at 5 weeks of post-pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know, he got kidnapped, in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, and that's a bit of a drop right there, but we probably can't dive into it now. But it was a bit of a scary situation with his past job, because again both of y'all went into entrepreneurship because he left his job due to that sort of incident that he went through,
and also he wasn't happy with his job. And I think when you're faced with a situation like you could have lost your life, why am I staying somewhere that I'm not happy and I'm not seeing growth, I'm not seeing personal development, because he was stuck in that job as a temporary person for how many years?
Exactly. If you're not valued, why do you
and
stay?
now he's uncomfortable, and you grow when you're uncomfortable. He's doing something that he's passionate about, I'm doing something I'm passionate about, and I'm getting to take care of my baby.
Definitely. So any future goals? Like, what do you see yourself doing in the future? What do you want to achieve moving forward?
I'm grateful for what I have achieved, but I still see a lot of work to be done, especially in the Trinidad's sustainable environmental sector. In terms of development of this country, we need to take into consideration that we live on a small island. So that is one goal that I have, is to bring mainstream, consciousness to the environment, especially our marine resources, the blue economy. It's the next thing.
And of course your book.
Oh yeah, well, personal goals, everything mermaid related.
Yes.
I have lots of ideas, and I just can't wait to have the, ability to do them.
That's really good. I'm excited. So thanks again so much for joining me, everyone who listened. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. I know I did.
Yes.
And I will be posting again very, very soon. I'm trying to get a guest every week from now on.
Yes.
So we'll see how it goes. And thank you so much for being my first guest.
Didi.
You are amazing.
I'm your number one fan.
Oh goodness.
I'm Team Didi all the way.
Oh, see, I have support right here. All the supports in the world. Thanks again so much for joining me, guys, and I really hope that this podcast taught you something and you took something positive away from it, because that's what I really want you to do, and find the right you. Find your passion and follow your path. Thanks again for joining us. Bye. Remember, eat healthy, stay healthy, be happy.